Imagine a world where illusions have become the unsung monarchs, luring the minds of the masses into a seductive but perilous slumber. Imagine the treacherous tendrils of delusion wrapping ever tighter around the psyche of society, with the truth becoming a desolate wanderer in its own homeland. Now, ponder the profound words of Carl Jung, who emphatically declared that civilization's most ominous peril doesn't lurk in the forces of nature or the torments of disease, but rather in our own psyche's shadowy recesses. Indeed, man is often his own fiercest adversary. Jung warned of a dire era when the collective mind's maladies would eclipse isolated cases, leading to a societal psychic epidemic. We delve into the treacherous realm of the mass psychosis, a virulent contagion of the mind, manifesting when swaths of a society lose the tether to reality, plunging into collective delusion. History is no stranger to such phenomena, as seen in the 16th and 17th century European and American witch hunts, where hysteria led to the slaughter of innocents based on spectral evidence and fearmongering. And who can overlook the 20th century's descent into the abyss of totalitarianism regimes that wielded terror and propaganda to manipulate and enslave the spirit of entire nations? But why does this mass madness occur? How do regular men and women transform into the minions of these psychoses? The answers lie, at times, not within the concrete, physical realm, but within the nebulous expanse of the psyche where negative emotions, like fear and anxiety, can flood the senses and push the mind to the brink of panic. At this critical juncture, individuals, desperate for an escape, may inadvertently switch on the cognitive distortion that blurs the lines between fact and fiction. As Silvano Arieti noted, it's not a descent into disorder, but a desperate, maladaptive restructuring of reality. Given enough pressure, any society's fragile framework can fracture, allowing the seeds of menticide to be sown. In such times, waves of terror are engineered to ebb and flow, systematically breaking down the moral fortitude and intellectual resolve of a populace, until they are primed for manipulation. This is all made insidiously potent by modern technology, which bombards the senses with an overload of stimuli and misinformation, ensuring confusion reigns supreme. How much more susceptible are we to such mental conditioning when isolated, when our social interactions sour anchors to normalcy and sanity are severed? In isolation, the positive influences that fortify our mental defenses vanish, making us malleable and more susceptible to the invasive tendrils of ideological conditioning. Yet, within this bleak outlook, there is a ray of hope. How do we counteract this psychic pandemic, you ask? It begins with the individual. A return to sanity must start with oneself, living as a beacon of independence and rationality. As Jung believed, it is imperative for every one of us to strive to free ourselves from the seductive pull of the collective madness and shine as a symbol of hope. Spreading awareness and truth, utilizing humor and ridicule to undermine the demagogues, building parallel structures within a society to create pockets of freedom, all are acts of resistance against the rising tides of totalitarianism. Each individual's actions reverberate, weaving together into a tapestry of collective liberation. It won't be easy. The path to reclaiming our mental sovereignty from the brink of a totalitarian mire is fraught with adversity. Yet it is within this struggle that the greatest victories can be achieved, as Thomas Paine once assured. Now, keep in mind that freedom's most potent weapon is you. In gearing up for this uncompromising battle for the minds and souls of our world, remember to subscribe to this channel, hit the like button, and ring the notification bell. By doing so, you align yourself with the crusade for clarity and reason. Stay vigilant, question the narrative, and never underestimate the power your voice carries in this cacophony of chaos we call modern life. To those of you who have slogged through this intellectual marathon with me, I tip my hat. If this video has sparked a flame of value within you, feel free to express your gratitude. As we part ways, I leave you with this. What actions will you take from this moment on to extricate your mind from the shackles of illusion and contribute to the resurgence of reason? Imagine being bombarded every minute with advertisements. Your mission, should you choose to accept, is to sift through the chaos and find what matters. Now, what if you have a story that's as gripping as a blockbuster movie? Let's talk about the power of storytelling in business. Legendary films like Star Wars and The Lord of the Rings mastered it, but this secret weapon isn't just for the big screen. Donald Miller, a virtuoso of narrative, peeled back the curtain on why these tales captivate us, offering a formula that could slash through the noise and engage your customers like never before. Firstly, consider the driving force of any great saga hero's quest. In business, your customer is always the protagonist. Define what they're after with laser-sharp precision. Is it prestige? More time? Money? Choose one and watch their interest ignite. Now, where's the drama without a villain? Identify the nemesis your customers face. If you're selling antivirus software, for example, make hackers the Darth Vaders of your story, a threat lurking in shadows, ready to be vanquished by the lightsaber of your product. And what's the ultimate consequence if the hero fails to act? Like an epic cliffhanger, you need to present the stakes. Paint a picture of a dismal world if they don't adopt your solution and a utopian one if they do. Just enough threat to stir action, but not so much it paralyzes. Let's cut to the chase. We live in a world strapped for attention. To be heard, you must talk less about the features of your product and more about the story of your customers triumphing over their challenges. Now, this goes beyond marketing or selling a product. This is about transformation. In a sea of advertisements that feels more like an imposition than a value proposition, telling an irresistible, engaging story can be a game changer, a life changer. What's your story? How will you shape the narrative that your customers will walk away with, not just a product, but a victorious chapter in their own lives? In a bit, I will reveal how embracing the tenets of a gripping tale, clarity, conflict, and stakes isn't just about profit. It's about connecting and creating loyal advocates out of your customers, tying them to your brand as fervently as fans to their favorite epics. But before we delve deeper, I just want to remind you, if you're finding this conversation eye-opening, don't hesitate to subscribe and hit the bell. Let's journey together through the art of masterful communication and ironclad branding. Now back to our story. In business, clarity is your wand, conflict is your sword, and the stakes are your shield. Wield them wisely, and your message won't just pierce through the noise. It'll resonate, echoing in the ears of your customers long after the message is delivered. As we near the conclusion of our narrative, ponder this. Which principles will you apply from this epic strategic blueprint? How will your story unfold? And remember, if you found value in what we shared today, feel free to leave a tip that mirrors your appreciation. It fuels our quest to keep delivering legendary content like the sagas of old, tailored for the heroes of today. Until next time, may your story be bold, your adversaries vanquished, and your messages forever captivating.